The moment we have been waiting for. Maybe, maybe not. What's happening in the market today? That's what we're talking about on today's market update. And whether you're asking it or not, I'm sure you're wondering it. What is happening in the market with all the crazy stuff happening right now globally, locally, and so forth? We've got higher interest rates we're dealing with. We've got high inflation. We've got a correcting stock market, supply chain issues, negative growth in the economy, which we haven't seen in years, and obviously the war going on in Europe. How is all that stuff affecting housing here at home? Well, as I'm sure you can imagine, pretty poorly. We have already seen and recorded 3 consecutive months, and likely going to be recording the 4th consecutive month at the end of May here, of declining existing home sales. Lawrence Yun, who you've probably heard me reference before, the National Association of Realtors chief economist, was just recently quoted saying more declines are imminent and we will likely be returning to pre-pandemic sales activity sooner rather than later. Again, this stuff is not news. We were all expecting it, but now we're actually just starting to see it happen. We knew the growth that we saw the last couple of years was not sustainable. The government overstimulated the economy. Now we're dealing with that aftermath with these anti-inflationary actions, higher interest rates, and so forth. I did think it was interesting that of all the sales completed last month in April on a national level, a quarter of those, I guess a little over a quarter, were all cash transactions. So roughly 25% of the buyer demand was not affected, and probably will not be affected for a little while, by the higher interest rates, because this has been a stat recorded pretty consistently around a quarter over the last several months. So there's lots of cash transactions still happening out there that won't be affected by the higher interest rates. Now, what are we seeing locally? Locally, we are seeing softer demand. It is still a very seller-friendly market because inventory is still so low. Just to give some context here, if the house is a 10 of 10, model looking, just looks great, priced right, marketed right, and so forth, likely that house will still be selling with multiple offers. The stuff that's doesn't look so great, going to be a lot less demand and may not sell at all, depending on where it's priced and positioned in the market. We just saw for the first time at the end of last week, inventory, I guess first time since October of last year, inventory has hit over 300 units here in Riverside City. Now, we didn't see that happen until July, mid-July of last year. So at this pace, or at this rate, I should say, we are on track to exceed inventory levels we saw last year. Higher inventory levels coupled with higher interest rates. You do the math. I'll keep you guys posted. Any questions, comments, let me know. We'll see you next month.